Revenge films.
I confronted my husband's lover and she sued me. I'm Sarah, 24 years old and a full-time worker. My husband Jack is 3 years older than me and we don't have kids yet. We met through my friend 2 years ago. He asked me out rather aggressively and we started dating. I just broke up with my ex-boyfriend then, and I was a little anxious about finding a future husband because of my age. I'm not saying whoever, but I didn't think too much about the person himself when I started dating him. When he proposed to me just after 3 months, I thought that it must be fate. The length of time we were together before marriage didn't matter much, or so I thought. Then we got married. We were dating for only 3 months and we were passionate. I think that clouded my judgment about him as a person because I see that now more clearly. I have a friend who got married around the same time we got married. The more I heard her story, the more I felt that way. They would go out as they were dating and watch movies together at home on their days off. They go grocery shopping together and her husband carries the heavy bags. I couldn't help but be jealous. Because Jack seemed no different after we got married, I wonder if he was aware he got married. He behaved as if he was a bachelor. He prioritized his social meetings over me, and he would easily cancel what I had planned for us. When I planned the dinner with my parents, "Sorry, but I'm not in the mood. You go ahead." Once we get married, we have family obligations, but he has no concerns about it and thinks only about himself. It made no difference to me from when I was single and I ate dinner by myself most days. He was a social type from the start, but I wished he would change his lifestyle for me, at least during the honeymoon period. But I started to have doubts about him having an affair in time. When he was home, all he did was do something with his smartphone. He locks his phone before going to bed. He takes his phone to take a bath. It was very suspicious. When I told this to my friend, she said the same thing. A similar thing happened to her sister, whose husband had an affair last year. His sister hired an investigator, and I was advised to do the same because it would clear my doubts I had. So I stepped into the office of a private investigation agency for the first time in my life. I thought that it only existed in TV and movies. I never imagined I would need that kind of service one day. After a month, they did an impressive job of discovering Jack's affair. I even saw the woman who was a receptionist at Jack's company. They didn't even hide, but openly dated in public places or even kissing in his car. I was rather amazed that they were having an affair so openly. There was clear proof of the photo of them entering a hotel. I had a mixed feeling of shock and a confirmation of my doubts. It was an indescribable, confusing feeling. We were newlyweds then, but now that I had all the cards I needed, I couldn't stay quiet. I thrust these photos to Jack. He admitted it immediately and apologized to me. That wasn't enough for me, of course. I didn't mind divorcing him, but he had to pay for what he did first. I demanded to have a meeting with the three of us with his lover. As I studied him so far, he was a clear womanizer. There was a chance his lover was fooled by him. If that was the case, she could be a victim as well. And the three of us had a meeting the following week. "I'm sorry for what happened." She apologized to me right away. From that, she didn't seem like such a bad person. Maybe Jack lied to her about our marriage, but an affair was an affair, and I was still taking control. I asked her if she knew Jack was married. If she didn't, I would settle for compensation only. Otherwise, I wanted to tell their company and destroy their lives, so that was my compromised offer. And I heard something unexpected from her. "Compensation? Does that mean I have to pay you money?" Yeah, it's only logical. You had an affair, and that's how it works." "But I apologized to you. Isn't that enough? I just went out with him a few times." Oh no, what is she talking about? Was she born yesterday? I explained to her how she was responsible for compensation. I know I had an affair, but what you're doing to me is a threat. If you insist, I'll go to the police and tell them I was threatened by you." I didn't know what to say to her. She was serious. Even Jack was surprised by her. I could see remorse in Jack, but not in this woman. Then I had to go all the way. I told her to go to the police or wherever. I knew they wouldn't do anything for her, 100%. Then she said with a smile, "You'll be the one who cries and pays," and left. I was astonished by this woman rather than angry. I forgot to talk more about her accountability. And she really went to the police to file a report. But the police officer couldn't deal with the child, naturally. They simply told her that if she had an affair, it is customary to be prosecuted for her actions. If that was a threat, all the real victims of the adultery would be arrested, and that's unthinkable. Good job, Mr. Policeman. But she moved on to her next plan. That was her hiring a lawyer to sue me. I couldn't be quiet about this, so I took up her fight. I talked to her lawyer and asked what had been going on. I told him what she said and did, including storming into the police station. Then I guess he didn't see a case. He quickly backed off, but she didn't give up easily and knocked on a few more doors of the law office before ending up in vain. A few days later, she came to plead with me with a completely different attitude. She said all the law offices said the same thing, that she was the one who did the wrongdoing and the law was not on her side. She finally got it and is now begging me to forget about it. Are you kidding? Including this extra drama, I pressed charges for both of them. I also told their company about it. She was too embarrassed to stay there and quickly resigned. Jack worked at the same company, so of course he was a target of gossip as well. But with no real prospect of his next job, he chose to stay. But it seemed really hard for him to stay there and take the blame, so he started seeing a therapist and was prescribed tranquilizer pills. We were newlyweds, so they were even colder to him. I was well compensated by both of them and moved to a new apartment right away. It was determined 100% Jack's fault. Everyone was sympathetic and kind to me, which helped me move on. I became a divorcee, but I'm not giving up hope. I'll just be really careful next time.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.